How much nerve do the airlines have? Or are they smart to be trying to squeeze revenue out of every single customer? Well, the latest numbers show they were late more than 25% of the time last year, and yet some of them want to charge you more, squeezing pennies out of you.
By the way, it's the second worst on-time rating ever. United says it's going to charge you $50 round trip to check in a second bag, $200 for a third bag. How do they justify this? Terry Tripler, founder and CEO of TerryTriplerTravel.com, is here now to talk about it. Terry, good to see you. Now, when we look at the price of oil, of course, it's down today, but gas prices have gone up, jet fuel has gone up. This must be the reason why, no?
Absolutely. It's the cost of doing business, and the jet fuel is absolutely killing the airlines. They're doing whatever every penny of revenue they can find, they're going after it.
Short of raising the prices for a ticket, right?
Absolutely. Other than raising the price, they're looking for every way that they can tap in and get an extra nickel, and they need it, and they're going for it.
Terry, what's wrong with that? I mean, we seem to be a little outraged, but isn't that just smart business to try and figure out ways to get more revenue, get more money out of people?
You know, absolutely. I look at it sort of as business 101. You know, this is the only industry where somebody paying $1,200 and somebody paying $200 received the same number of amenities or the amount of amenities or service. Now, the person paid $1,200 is probably on a refundable ticket. They get 2 bags. The person paying $200, probably a non-refundable ticket. They pay for the second bag. Really, that's how business operates.
And I guess if you can charge for food, you can charge for a bag, right?
Absolutely, and I think that, you know, I think by the time we wish each other happy holidays, everybody's going to be in the same boat charging for that second bag.
Well, wait a minute. I don't know if that's a fair comparison because, you know, people can bring their own food, but now we're being told you can't bring on that second bag. And, oh, by the way, I want people to know that car seats and strollers do not count as a second bag. So at least they're not slamming new beleaguered parents, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, where the problem is going to lie now is on the carry-on. How many people are going to try to carry on bigger bags now?
Yes.
And then what we're going to have happening is when we get to when the people get to the departure gate and now they're told that's too large to carry on, are they now going to charge that person $25? There's a lot of logistics here that have to be worked out before this thing can really operate smoothly.
Now, Terry, can't you strap it on top? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But there were some solutions, or I put in quote marks, solutions, and one being to enlarge those containers on top of the seats that we're in. Is that out the window, so to speak, right now?
Well, it could possibly help, but boy, I tell you that they're really carrying on everything but the kitchen sink now, and so this will just make it more difficult. Now, United claims that 1 out of 4 check 2 bags, so that means 3/4 of the people don't. Therefore, if it does cut down on the bags, everybody's going to benefit. They're going to be loading bags faster, unloading them faster. That's going to help, but I am concerned about the carry-on.
Stay with us, Terry. We're going to bring in our panel because some of them are very hot and bothered about this. Gary Kay, is this yet another way that the airlines are making people feel so awful when they travel, or is this smart business?
I think it's silly business, and I actually think they're imbeciles. You know, part of corporate America is public relations, and I think they've already had bad public relations. Let's just add more fuel to the fire. Look, I understand oil prices are very high, and it hurts, and I understand that baggage carries weight, which uses more gas, but there should have been a different way to do this. If it were me, I sit down with the airlines and say, an extra $1 to a ticket. This is too loud and too noisy, and it's going to make all the passengers upset. Unfortunately, the rest of the airlines are going to now follow as they always do.
Well, Toby, it won't make all the passengers upset, just those with a couple of extra bags.
Well, look, I just flew back from the Super Bowl on Monday, and the amount of baggage that the passengers brought into the plane was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. So true.
They have to come up with a better system than basically every airline does it different. But forget about this. If you're going to raise the prices, then you got to guarantee me that I don't have to wait an hour to get my baggage like I did yesterday at U.S. Air. Can I say U.S. Air? U.S. Air. An hour, because after August 15th of 2 years ago, where we had the 7 planes theoretically loaded with bombs, etc., everybody checks on more stuff because you can't carry on your, your various tubes and stuff, and that goes into your check-on bags. So at the same time that we're putting more stuff to check on, they never added more people. They never added new RFID technology so they can avoid all the problems they have. All they want to do is raise the prices and not improve the technology, and I say forget it.
Well, Toby, why do you have to bring your rocket launchers with you? I don't understand. Just leave them at home.
Well, yeah, I mean, what happened was we've changed the rules. If you ask anybody in the luggage carrier, because I was there for an hour, so I got to talk to everybody, they said that checked-on luggage now was about 20% higher today after August 15th of 2 years ago.
Yeah, and people, maybe the message is stop schlepping. I mean, Charles, you look at what he's talking about, where everybody stuffs their luggage in above, and then the last group of people get on the plane, everything's taken off. And besides, I mean, the airlines don't want to go under. The problem is they're the only game in town to fly people around, so there's some sort of belief on behalf of the average person out there that you owe us this service.
Well, there definitely has to be a happy medium. I think to Gary Kay's point, $25 is too much. To Tobin's point, obviously we do need to cut this back. I know when I spend extra money for a business or first class seat, I hate to see people taking my space, because they don't deserve it. But let me tell you what I'm really worried about, the trend, the direction they're going in, because soon they're going to start charging for weight, and I'm going to be paying more than everybody on the ship. So I'm a little worried about that.
Peter Schiff, go ahead, weigh in on this.
Well, there's two key points here. One is the government loves it when they put the price increases through extra fees for baggage, because it doesn't make it into the CPI. When they talk about airline fares. So if they
it's
charge
a conspiracy.
More but also going forward, look, the airline industry is going to go through a major consolidation over the next 5 years. You're going to see a lot of mergers, some bankruptcies. There's going to be far fewer planes flying, far fewer Americans in those planes, and ticket prices are going to go way up. There's no way around that.
Everybody's going bankrupt.
No, but we're going to have a much lower standard of living in this country. Americans are not going to be flying as much, and it's going to cost them a lot more when they want to do it. There's no way around that.
The problem for the airlines here is they just changed the norm. People's expectations were that when you go on and you have a couple of bags, you're not going to be charged. Now you're going to be charged. There is going to be a backlash here for changing the norm and not getting any extra value whatsoever.
These airlines aren't making any money, and they've got to make money. They're not going to do that unless they get a lot leaner.
Okay, wait, hold on.
If service was better, they would make money, Peter. No one has sympathy for the airlines because the service is abysmal and they do mistreat the passengers.
It's lousy. I mean, I think American air service is the worst in the world. I mean, if you fly coach in Asia, you get a better meal than first class in the United States. And sometimes I flown first class.
Wait, gang. I flew on Russian airline once. It was, I kid you not, it was standing only. Standing only. They had overbooked, and they actually had things that you had to hold on to. So it could be worse, Peter.
I don't know. I took a commuter flight in Thailand. I took a commuter flight in Thailand for 1 hour.
You guys, stop for a second. Terry Tripler, you've been listening to everybody bloviate about all of this. Have you learned anything from the way people feel? I mean, there's a lot of passion here.
Well, there really is. A lot of people are very upset about it. And, I look at it this way. 40 years ago when I got in the business compared to today. Today an airline's trying to convince you to fly that airline. 40 years ago we were trying to convince people to fly. The airlines went overboard and tried to get people, get passengers or whatever. And now as they start to cut back, it really hurts. What the airlines have never learned to do is sell up. They're the only industry I've ever seen that won't sell up.
Terry Tripler, we got to leave it because we just